If you clicked on this video, it's because your body has been trying to tell you something, and today you'll finally understand what it is. What you feel is not sickness nor chance, but a secret code of your spirit asking for passage. What do you call pain, insomnia, or goosebumps? It can be the silent call of your soul, and the truth is hard. Those who do not understand these signs lose the chance to live the purpose for which they were born. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize these hidden symptoms of spiritual awakening and why they only appear in those who have been chosen. Have you ever felt something strange in your body and couldn't explain? It wasn't the flu, it wasn't anxiety, it wasn't common tiredness. It was something different, as if his soul was screaming for attention. What if I told you that these unexplained symptoms could be signs that you are experiencing a spiritual transformation? Yes, it's real. The body begins to change when the soul awakens, and those who ignore these signs may end up missing the greatest calling of their life. It may seem controversial, but many people are experiencing symptoms of ascension and thinking that it is just stress. And then they go from doctor to doctor looking for answers in the physical, when the answer is in the invisible. Goosebumps for no reason, deep tiredness, changes in skin, eyes, sleep. All of these can be your body in transition. And here's the truth that few have the courage to say: you're not getting sick, you are awakening. There is a path reserved only for the chosen. And before the final transformation happens, there are a number of mysterious physical changes that the body faces. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 most common and most ignored. Pay attention. If you identify 3 or more of them, it is very likely that your soul is already in the process of activation. And that changes everything. Comment below number 5 if any of these changes have already happened to you, or write "I woke up" if you felt that this content spoke directly to your soul. I want to know who is on this path along with me. There are days when the soul weighs more than the body. The person wakes up already tired, as if he had gone through 1,000 battles in his sleep. This weariness is neither physical nor mental. It is a clear sign of spiritual transformation underway. When the soul enters the process of spiritual awakening, it demands more from the body. After all, it needs to keep up with the new energetic rhythm. This is part of the path of the chosen, carrying a body in transition while everything inside is being reconfigured. And no, sleeping more doesn't solve it, because what needs rest is something that goes far beyond the muscle. This type of exhaustion can appear suddenly in phases of life that seem quiet on the surface. The person feels as if they are emptied, even without great physical or emotional efforts. It is the activation of the soul calling attention to an inner realignment. In many cases, this tiredness is accompanied by increased energy sensitivity, an intense perception of the environments and people around them. The body reacts as if it is filtering dense energies. And guess what? He really is. Imagine the body as an old radio set trying to tune into a new station. The hissing, the noise, the interference, all of this happens before the frequency stabilizes. This wheezing, energetically speaking, manifests itself in symptoms of the chosen ones, such as this deep exhaustion. And this is just the beginning of energetic purification. A good practice during these periods is to slow down, stay more in nature, and avoid people and places that drain. The simple act of walking barefoot on earth can work miracles, literally. Some people at this stage feel almost worthless, but that's just the mind trying to understand what the spirit already knows. Something inside is being rebuilt. Inner transmutation requires silence, pause, and acceptance. Often, it is in these moments of energetic darkness that the seeds of spirit awakening begin to germinate. A good exercise: when you wake up, before picking up your cell phone, close your eyes and ask yourself, what does my soul want today? It sounds silly, but it activates the subtle bodies for unexpected responses. It is also common for simple tasks to seem heavy, as if the world were in slow motion. The truth is that it really is. The person is vibrating at another frequency, and everything that is still attached to the old begins to weigh down. This feeling of slowness is part of God's preparation. It's not for you to produce more, but to realize more. Pay attention to the small spiritual signs in the body that shiver for no reason, that deepest sigh. The body is whispering secrets of the unseen. And if you feel that you are alone in this process, no, you are not. This is the path of the chosen one, and the weariness you feel is a silent seal that something greater is being sewn up inside. While everything seems stagnant on the outside, a true energy revolution is taking place on the inside. But do you know what comes after this internal storm? Something you can't even imagine, and that's when even more curious symptoms appear. When the soul begins its journey of activation, the body responds. And sometimes this response comes in the form of specific pains. That stab in the back of the neck that appears out of nowhere, the pressure in the middle of the back, the tingling in the hands. These symptoms of the chosen ones are not common. They are coded messages of spiritual awakening. It is as if the body is being reconfigured to support a new energetic identity. Each localized pain is a vibrational password, an update code. The nape of the neck, for example, is directly linked to the connection between the physical and spiritual planes. When it hurts, it may be a sign that the body in transition is trying to open up more communication with the subtle planes. Spinal pain, on the other hand, usually indicates that old structures are being broken down to make way for the new. It is the spiritual transformation being processed vertebra by vertebra. And if the discomfort comes in the feet, be careful. It is the energy of the chosen one's path wanting to manifest itself. These pains are mysterious because they do not obey traditional medical logic. The person takes exams, goes to specialists, takes medication, and explains nothing. The truth, the body is absorbing new frequencies, and this creates an overload in the energy centers. If you feel pain in your hands, for example, it may be the chakra of the palms activating, expanding your energy sensitivity. A good exercise at these times is to dip your hands in water with coarse salt and think, I'm ready to receive. Another important point, these pains appear and disappear just as quickly. Sometimes they last days, sometimes minutes. And there is no pattern, because what is being touched is individual. Each soul has its own inner transmutation script. Some people report feeling as if something is moving inside the body, as if invisible threads are being realigned. And they are. They are the subtle bodies adjusting to the new energetic programming of the soul. So when the pain appears, ask, what is my body trying to show me? That simple question changes everything. Instead of resisting, you welcome. And by welcoming, it allows the process to flow. It's not about suffering, it's about understanding. These are spiritual signs in the body that need to be listened to with more than ears. They call for listening with the heart, with the spirit. Don't ignore what seems strange. Sometimes the stranger is just the new trying to get in, and the most curious. As these pains are integrated, other, even more unusual sensations arise. Like sudden chills or that heat out of nowhere, which comes and goes like an invisible wave, and that's when things start to get even more interesting. Imagine being in a cool environment and suddenly feeling a wave of heat rise through your body. Or the opposite, a chill that crosses you even in the middle of summer. These thermal changes without logical explanation are symptoms of ascension. They don't come from the climate, but from energy. It is the awakening of the spirit manifesting itself in the form of temperature, as if the sacred fire or the divine breath touched matter, and yes, it can happen anytime without warning. This sudden warmth is often linked to the activation of the soul. It is as if inner portals were opening, releasing ancestral memories, forgotten gifts, knowledge that was dormant. Chills, on the other hand, usually appear when there is an intense, energetic purification in progress. They are like invisible cleanings, done in the deepest corners of the being. The energy comes in, cleanses, and the body responds with goosebumps. Literally, it's the spirit washing the house. Some people report that these phenomena happen during meditation, during prayers, or even when they listen to certain music. Others say it comes out of nowhere, in the middle of traffic or in the supermarket. And all of this is real. The body in transition is increasingly sensitive to the spiritual stimuli around it. If you feel a sudden heat when entering a room or approaching someone, pay attention. Your energetic sensitivity is giving you a message. Want a practical example? When you feel this strange heat, place your hands on your chest and take 3 deep breaths. Say to yourself, "I take this spiritual transformation lightly." This helps integrate energy and prevents the body from going into resistance. In moments of chills, it is worth lighting an incense, covering yourself with a light blanket and just watching. These are small rituals, but they make a difference when the subtle bodies are readjusting. It is important to understand that these symptoms of the chosen ones are not punishments or negative warnings. On the contrary, they are gifts. Gifts that arrive wrapped in discomfort, but that hide immense power. It is the divine preparation doing its silent work. Don't try to rationalize too much, feel it, because sometimes what seems like just a chill, it is the presence of the unseen passing close to you. And the most impressive thing? After these thermal waves, many people begin to notice even more curious changes in sleep, as if the body is preparing to operate in another dimension during the night. You've found yourself sleepy all day, but when you lie down, no sleep. Or do you sleep as if you were in a coma for 12 hours and still wake up tired? These extremes of sleep are symptoms of ascension. The body isn't just resting, it's undergoing invisible training while you sleep. This is part of divine preparation. During sleep, the soul is taken to other planes to receive instructions, healings, and even downloads of spiritual information. Those who are in the process of spiritual awakening need more sleep because they are being updated. Literally, it is as if it is going through an energetic reconfiguration that requires the body to shut down so that something greater can act. Therefore, there are phases in which the desire to sleep seems uncontrollable. At other times, insomnia appears as a sign that there is too much energy circulating and the body cannot relax. It is the body in transition, adjusting its internal clock to the new vibration. If you feel like your sleep is weird, write down your dreams. They bring coded messages of soul activation. Often, a simple detail in the dream can reveal clues about the path of the chosen one. Another good habit is to avoid blue screens at night and create a slowing down ritual. Drink a soothing tea, read something light and avoid arguments, all of which help subtle bodies relax. Sleep is sacred in these periods. Treat it like a temple. Many people who go through this report dreaming about lights, flying, meeting strangers, or having the feeling of not being alone at night. And that's not something in your head. They are spiritual signs in the body showing that the soul is working behind the scenes. The rest of the body is only one part of the process. What happens in the invisible is what really shapes your inner transmutation. Insomnia, in particular, can also be a request from the spirit for you to observe yourself more. Instead of fighting sleep that doesn't come, use this time to reflect, write, or meditate. Sometimes it is in the silent dawn that the deepest answers arrive. A spiritual journal, for example, can become your best friend during this time. Write down what you feel, what you dream, what you perceive. Everything is a track. And the most interesting thing? When the soul begins to align with this new rhythm, perception changes. The eyes become more sensitive, and then you begin to see what you did not see before. Do you know that moment when the light seems more intense than normal? Or when you swear you saw something pass through the corner of your eye, but there was nothing there? This is not imagination. It is the awakening of the spirit adjusting its vision. The eyes are portals, and when the spiritual transformation deepens, they begin to pick up more than just the visible. It's as if the subtle bodies begin to see for you, and the world reveals itself with new layers. Sensitivity to light, for example, can increase surprisingly. Screens look brighter, bright environments are annoying, and even the sun seems to touch the skin differently. All of these are symptoms of the chosen ones in the midst of the soul's activation process. And it's not just about physical sensitivity, it's about perceiving the invisible. Sometimes it's sparks of light that pop up in the room, shadows that move subtly, or a sense of presence, even when you're alone. This type of perception is linked to the opening of the third eye, an energy center that awakens slowly and very carefully. When it begins to activate, vision expands, not only in the optical sense, but in the energetic reading of reality. You begin to see with the heart, to feel intentions in people, to perceive truths hidden in silences. It is energetic sensitivity, refining your way of existing in the world, and that changes everything. A simple exercise that helps at this stage is to stare at your own iris in the mirror for a few minutes in silence. Often, images, emotions, or insights arise from this small act. This is not mystical, it is practical. It is the soul recognizing itself in its own eyes. It's also worth paying attention to what excites you visually: scenes, movies, colors. What touches your eyes touches your soul, and it is becoming more accessible. Many people also report starting to see colors around objects or people, as if they were observing a faint haze. This may be the beginning of aura perception, a subtle but real phenomenon that indicates a transitioning body adjusting to higher frequencies. It is also common to feel the eyes water in moments of deep spiritual connection, as if the spirit is crying through matter. And it is. And the most surprising, as this vision opens up, other bodily sensations also begin to appear. Internal vibrations, like small, silent tremors, begin to take shape, and then everything begins to vibrate from within. Have you ever felt as if something vibrated inside you, but in a subtle, almost imperceptible way? A kind of little engine in the chest, a tingling in the hands, feet, or even on the top of the head. These are ascension symptoms, spiritual signs in the body that the energy centers, the famous chakras, are being activated. The inner vibration is like a secret password that confirms the soul is waking up. It is the activation of the soul taking physical form. These sensations have no apparent physical cause. Sometimes they arise when the person is quiet, meditating, or even lying down trying to sleep. But they can also appear at unexpected times, such as in a deep conversation or when entering places with a high energy charge. Energetic sensitivity increases, and the body reacts like an antenna picking up subtle waves. Many people describe these sensations as micro-shocks, pulses, or an invisible vibrational dance. And deem, a very common example, hands that vibrate when holding certain objects or when approaching someone. This may mean that you are being called to work with energy, healings, conscious touches, passes. The body in transition begins to align with higher functions, and then this tingling becomes a warning. Something is being activated here. A good exercise is to rub your hands until warm, spread them slightly apart, and feel the energy field between them. It is interesting to note that these inner vibrations also occur in times of strong spiritual connection, such as during intense prayers, mantras, or even when listening to certain music. It is the awakening of the spirit, translated into vibrational frequency. The body is no longer just flesh and blood, and also becomes an instrument of resonance. It's not over-the-top mysticism, it's energy science in action, a science that is only understood feeling. These manifestations can cause strangeness at first, especially if the person is not used to this type of perception, but the more it welcomes, the more natural everything becomes. Inner transmutation requires this adjustment. It is as if the body is being tuned to a new melody, and each note of this inner vibration is a step on the path of the chosen one. The body is waking up to something that the mind is still trying to achieve. And as this vibration grows, it stirs not only the physical, but also the emotions. Sudden mood swings begin to emerge, as if the heart were a river overflowing with feelings that were dormant. You're fine. Suddenly a sadness for no reason invades. Or else an immense joy arises without explanation. These emotional oscillations are symptoms of the chosen ones in full inner transmutation. The emotional body is being cleansed, and the cleansing is not subtle. Old pains, forgotten traumas, repressed feelings, everything comes to light. It is not a setback, it is energetic purification. It is the spirit reorganizing the heart for a new time. During spiritual awakening, the emotional becomes a sensitive field, almost a radar. What used to go unnoticed now moves deeply. A word, a look, even a distant memory can trigger an inner storm. This happens because the subtle bodies are dislodging old residues. Imagine the soul as a room that has never been fully cleaned. Now every dark corner is being lit up, and that creates turbulence. A practical example. If you notice a strong emotion emerging, stop and breathe deeply. Ask, is this emotion mine, or am I capturing it from someone else? Yes, it is possible to feel what others feel. Energetic sensitivity makes the emotional field almost collective. Therefore, stay away from dense environments, avoid heavy news, and choose wisely who surrounds you. You're more porous, and that's a gift, not a defect. These oscillations can also manifest as a sudden need to cry without knowing why, or an anger that comes out of nowhere. Don't judge yourself. The soul is reorganizing the internal files, and sometimes it is necessary to clean out the emotional trash. A useful technique is to write letters that you will never send. Put everything on paper, burn it later. This helps to release without having to confront. Energy moves and dissolves. Many in this process also feel that they no longer recognize themselves. Tastes, beliefs, even the way of speaking change. This instability is normal in the path of the chosen one. You're not getting unstable, you're getting true. Emotions are spiritual messengers. They reveal where there are still shadows to illuminate, where the spirit has yet to touch. Every emotion is a key to yet another spiritual transformation. And the curious thing, as this sea of emotions flows, the physical body also begins to respond. The skin, the hair, the sparkle in the eyes. Everything begins to change in a mysterious way. When the spirit begins to manifest itself more strongly, the body cannot hide it. The skin changes, hair reacts. The sparkle in the eyes gives it all away. They are spiritual signs in the body that show that something invisible is touching the visible. Itching without explanation, pimples in unusual places, sudden goosebumps. All these are symptoms of the chosen ones in full spiritual transformation. It's the body warning, there's something going on here that you don't understand yet. Hair loss, for example, scares a lot of people, but it can be a sign of energetic purification. It is as if the body is eliminating strands from an old version to make room for the new one. The skin, on the other hand, can alternate between periods of extreme dryness and intense shine. This is also part of the body in transition. Matter is adapting to the new frequency. In some cases, spots appear or disappear mysteriously. Nothing is for nothing. The ringtone also changes. Some people report that their bodies become more sensitive to physical contact, or on the contrary, they start to avoid touching without realizing it. This is part of the energetic sensitivity that intensifies at this stage. The subtle bodies are vibrating differently, and any stimulus is felt more intensely. A simple hug can generate an inner whirlwind. A perfume can cause nausea. This is not freshness, it is spirituality making itself present in the flesh. Want some practical action? Swap your hygiene products for more natural options during this time. Handmade soaps, shampoos without heavy chemicals, moisturizers with essential oils. This not only helps the physical body, but also respects the new spiritual vibration you are taking on. Spiritual transformation is also physical, and respecting this new version is an act of high self-love. Taking care of the body now is taking care of the soul. The body begins to shine differently, literally. People around you comment that you are with another energy. They don't know how to explain it, but they feel it. The gaze becomes more alive, the posture changes, the magnetism increases. This is a direct result of inner transmutation. The invisible is taking shape on the surface, and even if you don't see it, the changes are being felt by everyone who crosses your path. It is the activation of the soul touching reality with delicacy and power. And in the midst of all these changes, something is prepared. A turning point is coming, a final transformation which only those who have gone through all this can understand. Now that you know what's really going on with your body, the question that remains is, what are you going to do with that knowledge? Will you ignore the signs, or will you accept that you are being prepared for something bigger? Because if these symptoms are knocking on your door, it's no accident. It is a calling. And soul calls are not like cell phone notifications. They insist until they are heard. Maybe it's time for you to stop treating yourself as someone confused or weird and start seeing yourself as someone in the process of spiritual transformation. This journey isn't for everyone, but if you're here, it's because you're part of the path of the chosen one. And no one told you that by chance. So tell me, which of these changes touched you the most? Which one have you lived through and pretended it was just another bad day? Share it with me here in the comments. I want to hear from you. I want to know that I am not alone in this mission. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is the time. Turn on notifications too, because every week I bring you truths that many people prefer to hide, but that your soul needs to remember.